what's really good? It's your boy Hatter Ali on the What's Really Good podcast with the one and only Coach G Dub in the building, like always. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, everything's going great. It's great to see you. It's great to hear you. And I love looking at the commercial there that brings everything on with the action that's going on there. That's always good to talk ball.
Coach, you know it, and it's all about DC. And the commercial, the intro is not complete without Sean Taylor being on there.
I
So
agree.
it had to be on there. But Coach, how's everything? It's all, man, we are shaking. We got a couple days left and the season begins. What are your opening thoughts?
I'm very excited about it. It's time to get everything going. The preseason games are about really, if after all these years with me, it's about getting a chance to see guys you've never coached before, actually be on the field with them, see them going through the ups and the downs, the goods and the bads, all that type of stuff as you're improving and moving around your roster. But now it's time to play for real. Now it's time to compete inside the white lines. And it's always fun for the league to get started. And I do want to throw this out there right now. I think the National Football League did a really, really good job on how they matched up. A lot of the big time games are going to be going on this week to start Thursday, Friday, Sunday games, on how they're getting all that stuff ready to roll, and the Monday night game. So I think the matchups are really good. I think it's time to get started. And I know all the NFL fans are out there excited and ready to roll.
Now, Coach, you were talking about preseason, and obviously, you coach, you were there, right? How do you guys evaluate some of these guys that come and want to get another chance and things like that nature? How do you evaluate them, and what do you see exactly to be like, what, this guy, he deserves to be on that team?
Well, it's easier for me, or guys that are coaching with me, is because every day is an interview on how you go about meeting, how you go about being in the locker room, how you go about handling the training room, how you go about getting into the practice. And players who have played, for me, understand they can't wait to get to game day, because the game days are a lot easier than the practices, because we flat get after it in practice and we flat go in practice. But we still have a protection mechanism, staying off the ground and doing things that, you don't want to get, some very key pivotal guys injured or hurt. But it's important that you get a chance to see players you haven't coached before, how they react to the contact and how they react to the competition, because it's no longer about just being a better athlete than the guys you're going against like it is in high school and college. Every single football player that steps out on the field in a National Football League game, preseason and regular season, can flat play. So you want to see them, when the talent disparity gets shrunk, how they compete and hold up, and what type of techniques and stuff that you're coaching and that they can absorb and comprehend. A lot of that is very, very important, but it's also important just to get the reps and the rep manage the guys that you already know. Don't spend doing goofy things with them and you being the person that get them injured because of how you're going about coaching them and throwing them into the fire too soon. Now it's time to get into the fire. Now it's about winning and losing every single play, every blade of grass, and fans and players and coaches and everything about this sport. Okay, everybody's excited about this coming up week to start the games.
No, 100%, Coach. I mean, our Commanders, they show some light in the last three
They
preseason
did.
games. Obviously, they lost two. I mean, really, it doesn't really matter. It's all about, like you were saying, evaluating each position and the player. But what's your thoughts, your opening thoughts about how they did in the preseason, and what are some bright spots that you see?
I thought, first off, and I said this from day one when Adam got hired and he hired Dan Quinn, and those two guys together are doing a great job of establishing a culture that wins. And it's important to do that on how you go about every single aspect at the highest level of this profession in the world. They've done a very good job with that. And I think the fans have seen, the team's speed has increased, the team physicality has increased. And you don't really get a chance to see that until you get some into the preseason games, and it'll really light up here this first week. But I think they've done a very good job on improving some roster positions. It's going to be important, and I've got a few things as we get into the more details of certain roster spots that I really, really want to take a look at this week. Now that it's not a preseason game, but an active live game, I want to see how they've improved some of these spots on the roster.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think they did a great job. Obviously, Jaden coming in, his first possessions and coming out, he's looking nice. He's looking clean. I mean, for a rookie guy, he's looking good. And
Yep.
you can't ask for the best. I mean, the first his first pass was it flew over the head of the running back. I was like, oh man, hold on for a second. And then right after that, he made that bomb to De'Ami Brown for a completion. But I think, it's going to be a great year for Jane Daniels. But I also think, there's a missing spot. They need big time help on wide receiver. And Coach, I think you can vouch for that too. The wide receiver room is a little hanky panky. You got Terry McLaurin on there. We know how he is. But some of these guys now, Coach, I mean,
I know.
We need more video on these guys. I mean, you got Zacchaeus. Great guy. He's quick feet work. But is he the guy that could kind of lead on wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 or even 4? I mean, De'Ami Brown, he's putting the work in. And, obviously, before the whole preseason started, he's making that noise on social media like, hey, man, like I'm coming out here this year and I'm trying to play. And we always like, man, this guy's serious right now. But he coming out in the preseason games and he was making those plays. So I definitely see him in the mix, but I don't think he's that reliable guy quite yet. And obviously the whole trade buzz about you coming here, that's out the window now, right? And they got Noah Brown, which is a tall guy, 6'4". He did wonders last year in the end of the season with CJ Stroud. So he's a good guy too, but there's not that big splash guy that they need, obviously, for the first year foundation for Jane Daniels. What do you think about that, Coach? What do you think about the wide receiver group?
I think you made some very intelligent, very coachable facts right there about what you say. So now listen to this. When ability can't win you possession of the ball, win you blades of grass, win you yards, touchdowns, that kind of stuff, now coaching comes in to how are you going to create the space to utilize the types of receivers that you have. Cliff Kingsbury is very, very good at that. I'm telling you that right now. Now, it hasn't been seen in the preseason. He doesn't want to show it. You got to go back and watch prior film of places where he has been. But McCaffrey is going to be a guy that he's going to create space to get run after the catch, yards after the catch. Okay, all of those guys. And Brown, I think you're going to see some back shoulder shots and trying to take some very, very important third down and red zone shots to him and stuff. But you're also going to see, okay, how he uses and how they're going to be able to use the running backs in the spots that they are in to be able to create another wide receiver type position. And I don't believe Todd Bowles is going to do much of this because I think Todd's going to give Jaden Daniel, they're going to give him a lot of different looks of pressures, be it man-to-man, be it fire zone, be it simulated pressure. But in the zone downs that Tampa Bay that plays against them, Jaden's got to do a good job and get into a 1-2 throw. And he has shown that in the past. When you get into at this level, 1, 2, 3, now once you've gotten to your third or your fourth read, you better be ready to get rid of the ball and throw it away or get pounded by a rusher. So those are some of the things that are going to be going through Cliff's game plan and then how he takes a shot. I think Jayden does a very good job. I'm going to predict that he goes deep on the very first play of the game. He's going to try to create the space right there, make you be worried about us running past you all game, that type of stuff, and now work the different levels, inside, outside levels, okay, medium levels of, shallow, medium, deep type concepts and stuff in their pass concept. It's going to be good, and the big answer there, though, I think Terry's an outstanding receiver, and I think that we're all going to see them have a great relationship all year long. But now, how does all that work with how much of a rollover and how much of a juggling they've done on the offensive line? The offensive line is going to have to play well and communicate well with one another with a young quarterback and the ability to help create different types of things that's going to go on to give Jayden quick answers in the pass game. How do you do that? Got to run the ball. They got to run the ball. And if they're not going to, run the ball, and I've teased Cliff and teased those teams before, and sometimes they get allergic to trying to run the ball. You better not be allergic to running the ball. And I think that's something that Dan Quinn has got to do a really good job too, is forcing them to get into the passing situation so that he can rush the passer and get after him, because Dan Quinn is a really, really good pass rush coach.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously the dink and dunk guy is there, Austin Eckler, right? They got the guy in there that can definitely help Jayden if he's in trouble, right?
Yep.
But let's go back memory lane, shall we? Mr. RG3, 2012, his first rookie game was an away game. This is giving the same vibes, okay? Jayden first game over here. And forgot to tell you, RG3 won that game. But here we got Jayden. Okay, no one has tape on him. No one has tape. They got the college, but this is different now. This is the NFL, right, Coach? No one got tape on him. This is the biggest edge he has. Todd Bowles, he can throw whatever he can, but the thing is, there's no tape on this guy. I think Jayden's gonna come out here. Okay, Luke, like you're saying, your boy McCaffrey is playing with the first teamers.
Yep.
So he has won the coaches over already. Okay.
Yep.
I think Jayden comes over here. I think he's going to get at least 3 touchdowns his first game. Okay. And I think obviously he was coming in as the best, post-snap, pre-snap guy. And he's going to make an amazing game. And I think they're going to end up beating the Bucs. I would say 24-17. Okay. I think they're going to win by a touchdown, I believe. But, the thing is, Coach, the main issue that our Commanders have is the defense, especially the secondary. Now, Coach, I know you can rip one now.
Yeah.
What the is going on with the secondary over there?
Well, the biggest thing there is, and Dan Quinn has done a very good job, when he took some time off after leaving the Falcons, on how he has morphed into and doing so much more schematically than he used to, with the cover 2s, with the fire zones. He still plays the cover 3s and the cover 1s that he has always done. But he's going to have to be able to protect some of those guys, because I know Baker Mayfield very well. I know what type of a shot. They've got some good receivers down there, but Dan's going to have to make sure that he is doing a very good job on forcing the ball to go down underneath and then swarm the inside out, outside in, and swarm tackle. And that's one of the best things that Dan Quinn does. He does a very good job with that. But he's going to have to mix some secondary coverages in to protect some of those guys and force the ball to come out of Baker Mayfield's hand quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day for the secondary.
No, I definitely agree about that. I mean, Baker, obviously the guy that you know very well. When you took over at the Browns, you were telling me all the time that you erased all these plays, and the guy started shivering, huh, Coach?
Yeah, he didn't like how I changed all the protections and changed a lot of different things. But I'm going to tell you what, he's one of my favorite guys I've been around, and favorite guys I've had a chance to coach. And we go from dead last, and giving up sacks by the halfway point, and then after I took over, we led the National Football League with the fewest sacks and the fewest hits on the quarterback in the last half of the season. And Baker understands how to do those type of things. He's got some good threats there. It'll be a very interesting game, and it'll be, when you play down in that stadium, the Tampa Bay fans can be very loud, and our guys have got to be working on all that all week long on how we're going to not allow the crowd noise to affect our communication through hand signals, through nods, through eye contact, what we're doing on how we're not allowing that to have setbacks and penalties in our game, or not having timeouts called because we're not getting the plays called very well, because that crowd can be very loud.
It can be loud, but we made them cry, didn't we, Coach, in 2005?
We did. We sure did. And it's one of my favorite ones down there. And back in those days, we made them cry bad in that game right there. So you bet.
I'm telling you. And Coach, um, you know, our guy Mike Sanistro just got his number 0 as a rookie, as a jersey number. Now you coming out with number 0, you better play up to par, ain't that right, Coach?
You better step up and get ready to go, because there's no excuses about being ignorant, okay, by what you think you have to have in your jersey number, okay? The biggest thing you need to have is your name on the back of your jersey so that your family are representing them too. But numbers are just numbers. Now you better play.
I mean, number 0 got a very scary debut against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Coach. What do you think about those guys?
And
How can you contain those guys?
Both of those two guys with Mike Evans and Chris, I think the world of those guys. And so don't think that they're not going to have some very hard stare downs with the number 0 on how they're going to go about doing that, because they can't wait to have some of the little extra comments after a play is done, because number 0 is being 0 and not, okay, disrupting or doing anything about being an NFL corner.
Hey, I'm telling you, Coach. And, obviously, I'm sure you got tape on this guy, Mr. Emmanuel Forbes. People was chewing the hell out of him the whole preseason because, he was getting toasted out there. What do you think, man? What's the next step for this guy? What do you think this guy can do to improve the game? And, right after this show, I might just have to send him this link ASAP when it goes up live, so he can probably take this to heart in a good way.
The big thing is that as Emmanuel, he has to do a better job with his eyes, and he has to do a better job in pre-snap understanding about what he's getting ready to defend. Okay. Every single time the offense lines up, they're telling you the play, and you can't recognize the play because of a lack of study that's going on. So you're not out there playing every single route, every single run, you're not doing that. You cut those limbs off the tree of what you're having to do, and now play with smart, okay, vision, smart anticipation. Make the ball with your body, your mind, your eyes go where you want it to go as a defender, and now have a race to the ball. Find ball, see ball, get ball, okay? You can have that. And I don't see that happening very much right now. And a lot of young players, that happens to them. And if they don't get that done in a hurry, your ability is not good enough to play at this level.
Agreed, Coach. And, obviously, Coach, you being a DC defender, defensive coordinator, you seeing these guys getting another chance in the league. I got a soft spot after I seen him give his heart out, Mr. Martavis Bryant. Okay, this guy, all the stuff he went through, okay? I mean, 6 years he went through going under these underground leagues and making his, give him another chance. He came out, okay, drawed so many PIs. When was the last time the Commanders had a wide receiver that drawed PIs? It's been a long time, Coach. I remember Deshaun Jackson did a couple of times, but this guy, lengthy guy, was a guy that we needed in our team, right? Came out, he played his heart out, drew the PIs, got a touchdown, okay, in the last preseason game. Came out, gave a hug to Adam Peters, and the viewers, the diehard fans are looking at that like, man, this guy is gonna get a chance, right? We're getting happy. Going through all those stepping stones and then getting cut. Coach, when is it gonna be where these leagues like UFL or the Arena League and all that type of stuff, you get a chance, you get signed, but then you go, they throw you back down? When is that routine gonna stop?
The biggest thing in the world is that what are you doing when nobody else is watching? All right. So now the fans got a chance to see the things that Martavis was doing once he's out on the field in the game. But there's still a ton of other things that fans do not get a chance to see on how you sit in a chair in a meeting, how you pay attention at practice, how you work and do things above and beyond the details of practice, because now all of a sudden, and again, if he was not kept, somebody else is doing all those things behind the scenes when nobody else can see them as fans, that Adam and Dana says, we're putting our money on this guy right here. We're putting our money here. And again, if you got any type of a portfolio or any type of, experiences behind the scenes from off fields and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to be better than you've ever been to get another chance at the top of the world in this profession, like the National Football League, and he's had some problems that maybe some other things that we really don't know about, but they've done the research on it and they're not willing to take the risk.
Coach, your final thoughts, Bucs against our Commanders. I do want to say Redskins, like Todd Bowles did in the interview.
I thought that was great.
You saw that, didn't you? I mean, the guy won the Super Bowl with the Redskins, man. And, he's a coach. He is there right now. He didn't give a crap about no PRs or whatever have you, right? He said it how it is.
Todd's a really good friend of mine, too. I really appreciate him and all the things he's done in the league as a player and as a coach. And I have a lot of respect for him. I think it's going to be a tough game for the Commanders. I really do. And I've got it flipped around with the Bucs winning the game 28-16.
Wow.
I know. I think it's going to be tough. I think Todd, will give a lot of things to Jaden and to especially the young offensive line that they're not ready for. This is no longer just preseason practices and stuff. I know that we've had time to do all the what ifs, but now it's all the what ifs, okay, on a snap and a blink of an eye at the pace and the speed that will happen. And this amount of young guys starting on offense is going to be eye-opening and a good test. But I've got it 28-16 Bucs.
28-16. We got 24-17, and I think the Redskins going to win it. And funny thing is, once you gave that score, your prediction, I forgot about Rachaad White, the PPR king that the Bucs got there. There's another guy the linebackers better contain. Our linebackers are kind of like this.
Yep.
So I'm not going to change my prediction still. I got to go with the flow. Yep. But I think it's going to be a good catch-up next week to see who was right and wrong. We're both going to have our eyes on the screen watching the game. And who knows? Redskin alumni might just join us next week. Never know.
I can't wait. You keep on surprising me. I can't wait.
Never know. It's always one of these guys that always want to come on and chop it up with us. And, we always do it for DC. The Redskins, the Commanders, whatever you want to call it, fans out there. It's Coach G-Dub and me, always in the building.
And the fans always want to pay attention when you get one of those guys that come back on that I coach. Some of the crazy, stupid stories they're going to tell about me to try to hurt my feelings, and it makes me smile.
That's it. It's all love, Coach. It's all love, ain't it? That's it. Everyone out there, make sure to subscribe to our channel on the What's Really Good podcast. More podcasts to come, and let's see what happens with these predictions for the Buccaneers and the Commanders game this week. Coach, you want to exit out?
Yep. And here we go. Remember, we always go ready, break, and ready, break. Come
get some.